Hey, what's up, solar family? How are you? It's James here. Hopefully you're amazing. And in this video, I want to go over how to prevent a serious clawback. And you really have to take notes on this because this is happening more and more often. And I'm not just talking about a typical clawback, meaning you got a M1 and you received like $1,000 or $1,500 and they clawed it back because maybe the deal got canceled. That's not what I'm talking about. What I mean by a serious clawback is when your entire commission is being clawed back when the system is already installed on the homeowner's home. And I know you're probably saying that's impossible, but it's happening more often than you think. So make sure that you grab a pen and a pad because this is going to be a very important video for you to understand, because I know clawbacks hurt our pocketbook. When they claw back the M1, which is maybe $1,000 or $1,500, whatever that may be. But imagine getting your whole entire commission clawed back, your M1, your M2s, after the system has already been installed. But before I dive into it, if you haven't scheduled your free solar strategy call yet, especially if you want to get in solar, or maybe you already are in solar and you want to learn how to sell solar virtually online in your pajamas, or maybe you're a roofing or HVAC contractor that wants to add solar in your book of business, make sure you book your free solar strategy call. It's going to be a pop-up right above this video. So let me go ahead and dive right into it. So again, there's two things that you need to do to prevent a serious clawback from happening to you. And again, a serious clawback just means that your whole entire commission after the system has already been installed gets clawed back by the solar company you're working with. So the first thing that you need to be aware of is to make sure that all of the documents that the homeowner is signing, from loan docs to install agreements, are being signed with their personal email address. So I know that sounds kind of basic, but again, there's a possibility that your deal can get clawed back if the documents were not signed with the homeowner's personal email address. And you're probably saying like, well, how does that actually happen? Great question. The way that happens is, say for example, you run into a elderly couple and they don't use technology. They don't have an email address. And they're like, hey, you know what? I want to move forward with solar, but I don't have an email. And what most reps would do is they would create a Google email for the homeowner to use temporarily to sign all the documents. And unfortunately, if the deal goes sour for whatever reason, meaning that the homeowner's mad because they didn't get the production they were expecting, whatever the reason may be, this is a loophole where the homeowner can claim that this was a fraudulent signature that was signed and it wasn't signed with their personal email address. So be very, very careful when you're creating new email addresses for homeowners that don't have an email address. So the way to protect yourself if you have to create a new email address is to make sure that you document and you have the homeowner sign a written consent that you are going to create a new email address for them that they're going to use to sign all of the documents. I would also audio or video record a homeowner when you're actually creating the email address along with them, so you have proof that the homeowner knew that you're going to create an email address for them to sign the paperwork. So once you have a signed consent letter and also the video, make sure that you store that away in a safe place, because you just never know where it might come back to you later on. So one of the reps I was talking to a few days ago, this happened to them, meaning that they went ahead and created an email address, which is pretty normal in the industry, not knowing that this can bite them in the butt later. So after creating that new email address for this particular homeowner, things went sour later on after the system got installed. So after the system was installed, the homeowner was not happy with solar and they were looking for any way out of the actual agreement. And that's one thing that they used against the finance company, meaning that they claimed that it was fraudulent, that they didn't sign the actual loan agreements, and that wasn't even their email address. So again, it sounds simple at the time, but make sure that you protect yourself. And my second tip for you, especially if you're doing virtual sales, make sure that the homeowner signs the install agreement and the loan docs in their home. Because I know when you're doing virtual sales, that homeowner can be at work or the homeowner can be on a vacation because it's all done virtually and they're signing all the paperwork. But keep in mind that there are some clauses in the contract where they can actually file fraud as well if they sign the documents 8 miles away from their residence. And I know that sounds pretty crazy, but again, it's happening in the industry right now because some homeowners are not happy with their solar system for whatever reason. And they're looking for any loophole to get out of the agreement. And this is another loophole. They're going to complain to the finance company that, hey, you know what? This wasn't signed in my home. And you can verify this via DocuSign, and they can actually see how far this document was signed from their home. So again, especially for folks that's doing virtual sales, make sure that you're actually having a homeowner DocuSign the documents in their home to protect yourself. You don't want this to be a loophole where they can actually take your commissions later after the system has already been installed. And I know it sounds pretty crazy, but it's happening right now. And I just want to give you a heads up. So make sure that you take this video to heart and understand what I just told you, because again, I don't want your whole entire commission to be clawed back because of these reasons. So if you want to dive in deeper and you want to get in solar, or maybe you already are in solar and you want to learn how to sell deals virtually online in your pajamas, or you're a roofing or HVAC contractor that wants to add solar in your book of business, make sure you book your free solar strategy call. It's going to be a pop-up right above this video. Other than that, have an amazing day. Goodbye for now. Peace.